We went on The Boxing Voice. What an amazing experience. We caught up with the guys.
In both the fights we're going to talk about here is a feeling of bias and favoritism. Cannot understand why it wasn't stopped. Cannot understand why it wasn't stopped.
That was flip it on the other side. If that was Lara that got, knocked down, and then he could barely stand up and keep, his legs strong, would it have been stopped? I think so.
It would have been stopped.
I think
it would have been stopped.
That's
no
fact.
disputes.
Hey, it's your girls, Katie and Sham, and welcome back to another episode. So last week, I think it was Friday, we went on The Boxing Voice. What an amazing experience. We caught up with the guys, wrapped up, what was it, Wilder? Spoke about Wilder.
Wilder needing a tune-up fight against Dillian Whyte, if that happens, because Eddie put out a little statement last week, I believe, saying that he would need a tune-up fight. If the Dillian Whyte fight is to happen at some point. So big up the guys at The Boxing Voice. Ness and Mario we were on with. Absolutely brilliant channel. Go and check them out. Go and subscribe if you haven't. What a wonderful conversation. What else can I say, really?
It was. And look out for their channel as well, because they give loads of boxing news, interviews with big stars, big boxers, and they have a lot of people joining in into the scoop. So definitely check them out. They're on Instagram, I believe, and it's at The Boxing Voice, and it's THA, not THE. So yeah.
And we all gave our thoughts on, Wilder, Whyte, who would win. Like I said, it was a great experience, and I did give my honest opinion about Wilder. Obviously, it was a mainly American audience, so not sure how they felt about it. Not sure how the viewers felt about it, but you got to be honest about these things. I'm not a person to sort of sit on the fence. So.
And it's your opinion, and no one's opinion is right. So all the way from the UK to the USA, we gave our opinion. So it was dope all round. It's fully dope.
So big up The Boxing Voice. This weekend gone, what can I say?
What are we starting with? What are we starting with?
We're going to start with the Zelfa Barrett, Kiko Martinez fight. Before I get too deep into it, the thing I want to say that stuck out for me in both the fights we're going to talk about here is a feeling of bias and favoritism. And I think, lots of people felt it. That's not to say, before I say what I'm about to say, anything negative about Zelfa Barrett. I think he mostly displayed a good performance and, all credit to both the boxers. So just to recap for everybody, Zelfa Barrett won his super featherweight bout against Kiko Martinez, a Spanish boxer. Kiko Martinez kind of kept the pressure up the whole 12 rounds, would you say? I would say. And he lost the fight. Two of the judges scored it 118 to 111, so very wide. Eddie Hearn made his comments known. On the night, I was really shocked, because I actually was shocked that Zelfa won, because initially when I first watched it, I would have put Kiko Martinez up on points. I've rewatched it, and I now believe it was closer to a draw than Kiko so far up, to be honest. So rewatching it, Zelfa's performance was a lot better than I initially first took it to be, but a scorecard that wide, I still can't excuse it. What was your thoughts on it, Katie?
Let's just go back to Eddie Hearn's comments. So at the end of the fight, he said, that was a very close fight. I thought 118 to 111 is absolutely disgusting for Martinez. Martinez was relentless, and if he lost it, was by 1 or 2 rounds. He also added, We have some fantastic officials, but 118 to 111 doesn't do anyone any favors after all the effort that Martinez may as well have boxed on the back foot and had an easy night. Now, I fully agree with him. And I also agree with you. I watched the fight back. Actually, I watched it back twice. And I would have given it a draw. Definitely would have given it a draw. I think it was quite difficult for Barrett to use his range a lot. Kiko chased him around the ring, slowed him down. Barrett's got, he's got a great left hook. We know that, but I didn't see much of it. It was a good fight, but it wasn't a great fight. And I do think that they matched very, very well. And also, Zelfa's left hand was proven to be a bit difficult to land on Martinez. What was your thoughts, Sham? Like in terms
My
of
thoughts were that Zelfa, I think he struggled with Martinez's pressured style in the first half of the fight. He just kept up the pressure all the way through. But what I would say certainly is that Zelfa's punches, the rate at which he landed them was a lot higher. I think Kiko was it was a bit 50-50, kept the pressure up. 50% I would say landed, 50% didn't. There was a lot that he missed actually. So, and I didn't see that until I rewatched the fight. I would also say Zelfa recovered in the second half. And he started to come into his own. I wish he had performed like that from the beginning, though, to be perfectly honest with you, because it would have made a difference to I guess to the way that it was scored. But such a wide scorecard for me personally. We know that Zelfa was the favourite. He's a UK boxer,
and that's it.
Signed, it's just it doesn't look good. And if I'd have seen both that and what I saw in the Warrington fight, which we'll go on and discuss, if I were a boxer from outside of the UK, I wouldn't trust the UK officials. That's my personal feeling on it. I would just feel like whoever they think is biased. Exactly, and it's not fair. It's not a fair. It's not a fair way to go into a fight.
I think with Kiko as well, you could tell that he loves what he does.
Yeah.
He enjoys being in the ring. You can just tell by his aura. The commentary as well, they stated that given his age, we expect to see him slow down at some point, which will give Zelfa more success. Kiko didn't slow down.
I think he did a little bit, just a little bit, but he kept the pressure
more towards the middle. Yeah, he kept the pressure on.
Yeah,
Pressure on. Yeah, he kept the pressure on.
Zelfa's still learning. He's going to come up against different types of boxers. Some of them will be, a lot more kind of on the back foot and not so pressured. But he has to learn to deal with different types of fighters, right? So, it's a lesson for him. I think he struggled in the early rounds. I think he came into his own in the second half.
He did.
And as I said, those scorecards, it's no disrespect to Zelfa. He's still coming up, and that's not his fault at all. But I feel quite sorry for Barrett's camp because, just at the end of last year, we had controversy around the Lyndon Arthur win. And now we've got controversy around Zelfa Barrett, and it puts a stain on the wins, for his fighters, which isn't nice.
So let's move on to Josh Warrington and Maurice Lara. Heavy knockout on the fourth round. That was the first knockout. Obviously the commentary was saying he didn't look good going into the ring. Something was wrong. He wasn't on form. He wasn't energetic the way he used to be. The tenacity, intensity, nothing was there from him. What was your thoughts, babe? My
thoughts is, I don't want to really go down the excuses route. I love Josh Warrington. I've loved his style. I've loved the pressurized. He's kind of like a Lara. He comes in and he puts pressure on round one normally, and he didn't do that. I don't like the idea of it feels like excuses. Oh, he didn't see himself. At the end of the day, each boxer is going to bring a different side out in you. And perhaps it was just that what Lara brought out in him, he wasn't able to do what he did to, the likes of Carl Frampton. you know, where he just went in and steamrolled him all the way through 10 rounds, you know. That's how I feel about it. There may have been something wrong with him, you know, I don't know.
But it's all excuses to me. It's almost like when there is a favorite and you have the underdog, when the favorite doesn't come out on top, there's always an excuse. Oh, he didn't look how he usually looks, or maybe he just didn't perform well. He was up against a tougher opponent and he, you know, he won. Lara won.
Mm-hmm.
It was a brutal knockout.
Mexican boxers have been, you know, historically tough boxers. Many, you know, there's been many instances where Mexican boxers have caused, you know, an upset, as they would call it. And I believe that's all that happened, really. Lara, Warrington struggled with Lara's style, and it's as simple as that. I think I'm going to have to address the round 4 knockdown. Cannot understand why it wasn't stopped. Cannot understand why it wasn't stopped.
That was flip it on the other side. If that was Lara that got, you know, knocked down, and then he could barely stand up and keep, you know, his legs strong, would it have been stopped? I think
it would have been stopped. I think it would have been stopped. No disputes. Because the reality is, again, Warrington was the favourite, you know, and he's a British boxer.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether it's Eddie, whether it's the judges, the ref, he's the favourite. They all wanted him to win. I wanted him to win, you know. That doesn't mean you can treat boxers differently because they're the favourite, as far as I'm concerned. Exactly. And actually, it's very dangerous, I think, to do what he did. I mean, you've probably seen that he's ended up with a fractured jaw, a perforated eardrum. Maybe that wouldn't have happened. I don't know at what point in the fight that happened, but maybe that wouldn't have happened had it been stopped. What if he, you know, God forbid, ended up brain damaged? Because, and then that's the whole point of referees, is you have to make a judgment.
Exactly, that decision there and then.
You have to make a judgment if he's fit to continue. And I'm not a licensed referee. I'm certainly not. But at home, I could see he wasn't fit to continue. Yes, he carried on for a while. He was very brave, but it should have been stopped. It's simple as.
It's crazy because that was the 4th round, right? And then before the bell rang going into the 9th round, his corner asked him if he was okay. And he said, yes, he's sound. Now, once he went back into the ring, what was it? A minute into the fight, the 9th round, he got knocked down. He got knocked out.
He was out for a while.
Out for a while, to the point where I was thinking, oh,
I was worried, very worried, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, credit to Lara, age 22 on a big stage.
He did very well. He was very humble. He didn't celebrate until he knew Josh Warrington was okay.
Right away.
You know, credit to him. It was a good performance. But here we are again, looking at another form of bias that could have potentially caused a massive problem for Josh Warrington going forward. Who knows how long he's going to be out now with these injuries that he's got.
Exactly. You know? I don't know what's going on in the boxing world right now. Is it corruption? People are talking about, see it all over Twitter. Well, I mean, you know, obviously you get corruption in all different companies or different establishments, but you know, when it's so evident to the eye, you can see it clear as day. I mean, I don't know.
You know, like, what is going on? The problem with boxing and why people say there's a lot of corruption, and I believe it's true, is that you don't have one overarching you know, board or whatever. It's loads of different sanctioning bodies. There's not one body responsible for everything. So in that way, it's like you're going to get biases from different sanctioning bodies, you know, and you know, all kinds of accusations of you know, that being paid off and all these kinds of things. You know, it's much more likely to happen if we don't have one place that is the center, just managing everything, you know. So it's a shame. I hope that one day they do get to, I mean, keep the sanctioning bodies, that's fine, but I think there should be someone that overlooks all of them, if that makes sense.
100%. There needs to be someone to overlook. Another day in the boxing life, eh? Another thing to talk about, man.
I think that brings us to the end of of another episode.
So we are your girls, Katie and Sham at Boxing and Bantz. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, follow us on Instagram at Boxing and Bantz, Twitter at Boxing and Bantz, and Facebook, Boxing and Bantz. Also, press like Facebook. Bye for now.
Bye.